Hey guys, what's up YouTube? Final back here, and today I've got you guys a Kuda class setup video. If you enjoyed the video, please hit a like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. But without further ado, let's get into the video. So obviously we've got a Kuda class video here, and we're gonna do a ninja suppressed kind of class. You know, one of those ones you creep up on the enemies and go loop around the map and kind of get those kills. So look out in the future, I might do some other types of Kuda class videos. I mean, you got an assault version, you got a rushing version, all those kinds of things. But today we've got a suppressed kind of ninja version. So the way you play with this class is probably just loop around the map, hunt the enemy team. It's a bit of a rushing class, but it's kind of that class they use for probably TDM, free-for-all. If you want to stay, suppressed off the radar, that kind of thing, and for, close quarters combat. Obviously, the Kuda is obviously a pretty powerful SMG, along with the VMP and all those other things. But without any other indications, I guess this gun is actually really good. So, in my class setup, I use a couple of attachments, and I don't use a sight. So, with the SMGs, I think that a lot of the time, especially with Black Ops 3 and Treyarch, they do pretty well with their iron sights. There's probably only a few really bad kind of iron sights, but the rest of it you can probably do without putting on, a red dot sight or an ELO or something like that. So I don't tend to use a sight with this class. I tried out for a while an ELO sight or a red dot, but I just didn't feel like the class really needed it. It was more of a forced kind of thing, especially the Kuda sights are pretty good, having this circular kind of iron sight. So I don't really use an optic with that class. Now going on to the attachments, I use quick draw. Now, quick draw is pretty effective, and you can really tell the difference when you aim with an SMG, especially with quick draw and without quick draw, with the time difference delay. And if you're going around the corner, especially if you're going to rush the enemies and things, obviously you'd be probably a bit more stealthy. You'd try and probably aim around corners a bit more than you would normally instead of just rushing around the area. But having the ability to just quickly pull up your SMG and just kill an enemy is actually really, really useful, and I think quick draw really makes the difference. And it can make the difference between you winning a gunfight and you losing a gunfight, so that's why I put that on. For the second attachment, I run extended mags. Now, this just helps you get those, multi-kills if you run into a team, and with putting a suppressed on the Kuda, it does kind of impact its damage, which means it's not as effective as it would be without suppressors. So, having that extended mag, 42 bullet clip, can really mean that you can unload like a full payload into the enemy. And even if they're behind cover, let's say you start shooting at them, I think I do a couple of times in this video, someone hides behind cover, and then you can just thrust jump over them, spray a whole bunch more bullets, and hopefully get the kill. So it can just allow you to confirm those kind of kills. Now, you could probably switch this out for something like fast mags. I did try that for a while, but I just thought the fluidity of having a extended mags onto it really, really effectively worked probably much better than fast mags, especially if you run into those multi-kills. You can just unload the whole clip and not have to reload halfway, although it does work as well. Now for the third attachment, obviously you're probably going to want a suppressor, because this is a ninja class. You want to kind of stay off the radar, kind of sneak around the sides of maps and take out enemies, rush into their base, start taking them out without them knowing that you're there. So suppressor. Now obviously, like I said before, this does give the damage a pretty big reduction, and it can be imperative and to your class setup, but if you use it and it keeps you off the map, I think it's pretty good. And obviously it'll help you a lot in things like search and destroy, where you actually need to stay hidden and that kind of thing. So if we move on to the perks now I use perk 1 greed, so that means you're going to be using 3 points for this out of your perk created class system, 2 for the perks, and obviously 1 for the perk 1 greed. So the first perk is 6 cents. Now obviously this is a really great perk, obviously new to Black Ops 3. And I mean, it's just so great, especially with SMG and going around corners. And there's so many hidden corners in maps where people just sit around, and just having that ping on your radar pop up when they're around the corner can allow you to get those kills a lot more easier. And obviously if they thrust jump behind you or something like that, or they're near you, they ran into a base right past you, especially if you're in their spawn, it can make a big difference having that ping area to allow you to turn around quickly and react and kind of get that kill. So that's why I run that. Now Ghost, obviously if you're doing something like TDM, free-for-all, it might apply depending on how good the lobby is and if they're getting a lot of UAVs. But team deathmatch, all those kind of areas where Ghost really matters, even if you play something like Domination. I mean, this class isn't just for TDM and those kinds of game modes. So it keeps you off the radar obviously, and that's a really useful thing if you're trying to rush. Now for the second perk, I chose Scavenger. Obviously having those extended mags means that you have quite a bit of ammo to start with, But the problem with that being that you can obviously run out a lot of ammo. If you're trying to go for something like a nuclear or, you know, those higher type kill streaks, you're gonna have to go through a lot of Kuda ammunition just getting the kills, especially with the suppressor being on it. So that's obviously why I run this scavenger. Now for the third perk, I run Dead Silence. Obviously you want to be as silent as possible. You've got the suppressor to keep you off the minimap when you're shooting the gun, but when you're running around corners, you want to be really silent. So you can put Dead Silence on. That's what I tend to use. You can obviously switch that for awareness, or if you wanted to, you could take off Ghost and kind of mix match. If you use headphones, it might be better to use awareness with the Dead Silence and take off the Ghost, which is something else you can do entirely. Now for score streaks, I don't really think there's a kind of set of score streaks really that you can use that are going to really matter or make this class better or worse. I think it's really personally up to your playstyle. If you want to try and rush around corners, maybe you want to run something like UAV, counter UAV, and Hater. Or maybe you want to go for that kind of offensive playstyle where you just want to keep rushing the enemy storm, keep getting a lot of kills, maybe run something like Raps or something high up like that, Wraith, those kind of score streaks. So I'm going to leave that entirely up to you. Well, once again guys, thanks for stopping by. If you enjoyed the video, hit a like, subscribe. Hopefully more content will be coming soon. But until the next video, I'll see you guys next time.